Building a perfect 10 out of 10 collection using only cheap fragrances. I got this idea from a comment recently who said do a video where you do a 10 out of 10 collection for each different price range. I was considering having cheap fragrances, mid-range and expensive all in one video, but I kind of felt that it felt a little bit too crowded, and I kind of wanted to give each idea a bit of space, a bit of breathing room. So today we're going to do part 1 of this series, to this potential 3-parter, where I'm doing just cheap fragrances you can find cheap if you go on online discounters. Some of these you have to wait a little bit to make sure you get the good price when the time is right, but some good discounters for around the world, guys. I've always said in our videos, but you can watch them in other videos, or you can just hear me out now. Basically, if you're in the UK or EU, go for All Beauty or My Origins or Parfum Dreams. In America or Canada, you can go for FragranceBuy.ca or Joma Shop. And in Australia, I think feelingsexy.com.au is a solid option for you. So go to those fragrance websites, guys, to see if you can find some of these good prices, or in general, just go on Google and see which product listings have the cheapest prices for each of these fragrances. Hopefully this collection gives you at least 5 fragrances with a variety of styles, good quality, have some good longevity in here as well. And more importantly, they're all found at a good price as well. Let's begin. So I always like to do these well-rounded collection videos with our 5 categories. So category number 1, everyone should always aim for, is a dumb reach fragrance, something versatile you can wear every day, your daily driver. My recommendation is 212 Men NYC by Carolina Herrera. I'm actually going to look up the price now as to how much this is currently, because some people think this isn't a cheap fragrance. It is. You have to just kind of wait for it. It's usually a fragrance you can find around 30 to 40 pounds, which is relatively affordable. Bear in mind, guys, fragrance prices have just gone up in general in recent years. But yeah, for example, I'm seeing 31 pounds for how much? Yeah, 31 pounds for 50 ml of CH 212 Men NYC on the website Fragrance Direct in the UK. That's a very good price. This smells excellent for its price tag. It's a fragrance you have to find on discounter, but when you do find it, it smells very good. It's a very much slightly green, fresh out the shower fragrance. It smells classical. It's from the late 90s, and it just smells like it stood the test of time. It's super sexy. It has this almost sharp masculinity in here that's kind of permeates through it, but at the same time it feels very easy to wear. It smells very smooth at the same time. I think it's just a fantastic blend that has a hint of greenness, which a lot of perfumery nowadays is kind of missing. A lot of fragrances try to go more in the blue direction, but green notes can be extremely sexy, and 212 Men NYC is a great example of that. I think this is a fantastic, cheap, versatile fragrance because it smells expensive. It lasts a long time, around 10 hours with medium projection. So I think this is a really interesting, versatile scent. I could have put something like Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Parfum, but I kind of feel like it's a bit of a boring suggestion, because it's kind of like the Aventus DNA is kind of everywhere now. I kind of want to try and get people away from that. So hopefully this choice is agreed by a lot of people in the comments. 32% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys want to see our channel grow, to really help us out, click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Then the second option is to go for an evening scent. You have your daily driver, to go for an evening fragrance that works hopefully most of the year round. It's romantic, works in reserved environments. You can wear it on a date, wear it to nice meals out, or just any fancy evening event. I think this smells super expensive for the price, relative to the price. That's Guy Laroche's Drakkar Intense. Now, I acquired this recently. A lot of people obviously know Drakkar Noir. This is a famous cheap fragrance. Everyone and their dog has smelled it now at this point. And that's more of a darker oak moss and patchouli based, very traditional barbershop scent. Drakkar Intense isn't actually a flanker of Drakkar Noir, it's a flanker of the original Drakkar, I believe, so they made Drakkar Intense. And as soon as I smelled it, this reminded me of a fragrance from Azzaro that was discontinued by them, which was Azzaro Pour Homme Intense, which is kind of like, basically it's a similar concept to this. It's a traditional creamy barbershop scent that's made more useful to wear in the evening time. It kind of made it a bit more evening-esque with some ambery notes in here. It smells a bit ambery, even a little bit boozy when you smell it. When you look at the note breakdown, I don't think the note breakdown really represents the scent accurately, actually, at all. But it smells like a creamy, clean, traditional barbershop scent that doesn't smell outdated. I feel like they've modernized that part of the fragrance very nicely and made it ambery, a little bit boozy. It smells very smooth. You want a very smooth, ambered out, really affordable scent. I think you can usually get this around 20, 25 pounds. This smells very high end for its price tag, in my opinion. It's very well blended. It doesn't smell cheap or tacky at all. I think Most age groups can rock it, maybe be 21 and above, but you gotta like some of that traditional classical perfumery in there from the barbershop side of things. I get about 4 to 6 hours with a soft to medium projection, which is pretty good for a evening or date fragrance. Then in the spring and summer, you want a lighter, fresher fragrance, something that's invigorating, doesn't annoy you, because the heat really makes all fragrances more intense. I think 212 Men NYC can work in this season as well. It's a versatile, all-rounder fragrance, but this fragrance will kind of get you more into the feeling of summertime. I think it smells really, again, great quality for the price tag. And that is Montblanc Legend Spirits. A 95% similar clone to the original Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua 2016, which I believe they were trying to replicate. Aquatic, musky, bright citrus perfumery, really easy to love, even has a slight fresh out the shower aspect to it. I feel like most people will love this fragrance. It's a super casual scent, and that's kind of the vibe you want in the summertime. You don't want to overthink life, you want to have fun. It smells a little bit bubblegum-esque because it has that Invictus DNA in here. It's just super sexy fragrance that lasts a good amount of time, actually, around 6 hours. I kind of underestimated how long it lasted when I first got this. It's a very musky fragrance, and with musks, some noses have a harder time detecting them than others, so it depends on your nose, but I get around 6 hours with a medium projection. For the quality, the smoothness, the blend, and the pretty good performance as well, I think this is a fantastic acquisition for the price tag. And then let's say you're in a more stimulating environment, you're in a louder environment, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of scents, you want to turn heads, grab people's attention, and you really need to compete with other fragrances in the venue, then you want a clubbing or a gig-esque kind of fragrance. If you go out to a gig or a festival, this is the kind of fragrance profile you want, something loud, something distinct, and that is Alexandria Fragrances, Hafez 1984. This is an original creation from one of the best clone houses that I know of. So they're usually a clone house, but Hafez 1984 is their original baby, and it smells very interesting. This is the kind of fragrance profile you want for your loud head turner fragrance. It is very spicy, Middle Eastern, very boozy, very ashy tobacco-y, so it has that really piercing ashy tobacco, and it has a lot of vanilla in here as well. A beautiful concoction of different aspects to the scent profile, different nuances, a really interesting idea. That smells, again, you can get a 30 ml for like £35. That's all you need, because 2 sprays of this just fills up a room. Not all 30 mls are born equal, and this is a perfect example of that. Extremely loud fragrance, extremely long lasting, around 12 hours. A lot of people compare this to Red Tobacco. I prefer this over the original Red Tobacco, definitely. It's a very fun, lovable fragrance. This has garnered me a lot of compliments as well from my experience, so I definitely recommend this fragrance if you want a very great smelling, loud head turning fragrance. And then lastly, there's the office category or the school category. This is something you want to be inoffensive, simplistic, long lasting enough for the school day or the work day. And it kind of still needs to, in my opinion, smell really nice for the price you're paying, because I don't want you to smell tacky in your workplace. So my recommendation here is Burberry Touch For Men. This is a simplistic, sharp, piercing office fragrance, but it smells very clean. Peppery, linen-like musks in here, very, as I said, musky and just piercing. It kind of just carries on piercing through and through, but it smells high quality, and it lasts at least 8 hours. So if you want a very affordable, simple, but high quality smelling office fragrance, I recommend Burberry Touch For Men. I think it is fantastic for the price. Then with your basic 5 out of the way, I always say to people you can buy a few more interesting fragrances for the other interesting and niche-esque kind of categories. So that would be like a leather fragrance, a gourmand fragrance, or an oud fragrance. So for those kind of categories in the cheap side, you can go for something like Bentley For Men Intense. This introduces you to more mature perfumery. It smells niche, honestly. Well, it smells very expensive for its price tag. It has leather in here, so it's an interesting fragrance to introduce you into leather. It has a very squeaky cap, but it's definitely very classy. Definitely an example of smelling more expensive than its price, and it lasts a long time as well, around 10 hours. Or you can go for something like Rasasi Shuhrah, which introduces you into oud. It's going to be a synthetic oud at this price range, but it's Middle Eastern, sharp, more fresh, more clean, but also piercing, animalic. It's leather as well, so leather, Middle Eastern oud that's fresh and beastly. So it's a really interesting fragrance for a really good price. I think you can get it for around 25 to 30 pounds right now, which is a bargain. It lasts 12 hours at least as well. Or you can go for something like Franck Olivier's Oud Touch, which kind of introduces you into oud perfumery. It's very traditional rose and oud without using real oud, but it kind of introduces you into that scent profile, that kind of family of fragrances. And that concludes this video, guys. Do you agree or disagree with my cheap 10 out of 10 collection? I kind of feel like all of these smell better than their price tag. They really make you go a step above most other people when they buy cheap fragrances. They last a good amount of time, and they give you a variety of styles as well. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know how you would build a perfect 10 out of 10 cheap fragrance collection in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to check out our previous video on affordable fragrances. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.